So I wanted to get another mock draft in before players started rising and falling due to the scouting combine. And the website I use did add the comp picks already, so this one's gonna be probably way more realistic than the first one. So let's get right into it. With fourth pick of the third round, I have the Texans selecting Deshaun Elliott. Deshaun Elliott, if you watched my previous mock draft, I had the Texans taking him too. Texans need a strong safety. They got Andre Howe that can cover or has been able to cover in the past. But Andre Howe can't really defend the run all that well. Deshaun Elliott, he defends the run well and he can play the pass too. I think he'd be perfect to pair with Andre Howe in that secondary and hopefully bring some stability to that strong safety spot, because we've kind of been lacking there for a while. We've just kind of been plugging in players, like, I want to say ever since Glover Quinn left. I don't remember if Glover Quinn was a strong referee, but yeah, we've been kind of plugging in players for a while there. So it's time to, address that position, and hopefully Deshaun Elliott can bring some stability there and really help the secondary get back to form. Now I want to take this time to give a little shout out to Mr. Ray Ray, because these next three guys were three guys Ray Ray has been talking about for quite a while. One of them for a long time, the other two kind of more recently, but nonetheless, all credit goes to Ray Ray for, finding these guys, I guess. The link to his channel is going to be on the top of the description, so definitely go check him out. If you guys think I'm good with the mock drafts, which I really don't, I think I'm pretty bad, Ray Ray is really good with the mock drafts. So if you guys want some really good mock drafts and really good player evaluations, go to Ray Ray, because the guy is amazing when it comes to the whole scouting process of the up and coming college players, especially offensive linemen. So definitely go check him out, show him some love. And with the 16th pick of the third round, I have the Houston Texans selecting running back Nick Chubb. Now I know what you're thinking, like, what? Another running back? Yeah, another running back, because there's rumors out there apparently that the Texans are shopping Lamar Miller. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Deontay Foreman, I like him, but Achilles injury, that's scary, man. It's scary, but I still believe in Deontay Foreman. I believe he's gonna come back, but we need a running back that can go right down the middle, that's not gonna get tackled easily. Yes, Foreman is that guy, but Foreman, kind of like Arian Foster, he has the size and power to pretty much run anyone over, but he kind of chooses not to a lot of the time, but he does fall forward sometimes. Now, Nick Chubb, 5'10", 225 pounds. This guy's gonna fall forward. He's gonna get those tough yards. And if Foreman comes back, then we have a duo that's gonna be really hard to tackle. Try tackling Chubb and Deontay Foreman for 60 minutes. Yeah, we need to do something about this run game, because we can't solely rely on Deshaun Watson. And if the defense is going to suck, then keep the defense off the field, because we already know Deshaun Watson can score easily. So why not milk some clock and keep that defense fresh, keep it off the field so it doesn't screw us over. And you kind of have to think, I don't think the Texans are going to re-sign Andre Ellington. I think they're going to let Blue walk. And Bill O'Brien usually likes to carry like 4 running backs, so that's probably Foreman, Miller, Tyler Ervin, and who else? Why not Nick Chubb? With the 34th pick of the third round, I had the Texans selecting Alex Kappa, offensive tackle out of Humboldt State. Now, he's from a smaller school, so there's definitely a huge gap he has to overcome, because from going from a small school to the NFL. That's a pretty big gap, like a talent gap. So has to overcome that. Players are way bigger, way faster, way stronger. But I do think he can get the job done. He was a starting left tackle for them. Maybe he won't start at left tackle here because do you really want a rookie third round pick left tackle starting? Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't mind them throwing him at right tackle at all because who's going to be our right tackle? Like, we have no one on the roster capable. Free agency, I'm not sure we're even going to get a right tackle in free agency. We might just go like Andrew Norwell or something. But why not throw him in at right tackle? I think he'd be a day one contributor. And in the long run, he'd be like a 10-year starter on this team. So far, this first 3 picks, we got a starting safety. We got a running back that can really help Deshaun Watson. And we got someone to protect Deshaun Watson. And in the 4th round, with the 3rd pick, I had the Texans selecting Duke Dawson, corner, out of Florida. Now, Duke Dawson, like, 5'11", but the guy, damn, like, when Ray first talked about this guy, like, I thought he was just, like, over-exaggerating about him, but this guy is good. Like, he's good. He plays the ball well, and he tackles well in open field. And probably my favorite thing about him is he doesn't give up. Like, like a receiver catches the ball, like the guy's gonna get the ball out of there. Like, he's gonna make sure you don't catch the ball. And I love that about him. He should really probably be a day 1 pick, but for some reason he's projected to go late 3rd, early 4th. And my reasoning behind it is because he's seen as a nickel corner, a slot guy. Now, I have no problem with that, because even if he ends up not being able to, be an outside corner, like a Patrick Peterson, a Xavier Rhodes, Darius Slay, the Texans last season, Jonathan Joseph was pretty bad at the number 1 spot. Kevin Johnson was bad at the number 2 spot, and Kareem Jackson was bad in the nickel or slot or whatever you want to call it. They were all bad. We need 3 new corners, realistically. Unless Kevin Johnson can bounce back, I don't think Kareem can bounce back. I don't think J.J. can bounce back because they're all old, or they're both old. The only one I could possibly see bouncing back is Kevin. So, theoretically speaking, we need 3 corners, and if Duke Dawson doesn't end up being a good outside corner, then guess what? Hey, we got a nickel corner, so. And these days in NFL, you need 3 starting corners, so. I really have no problem with Duke Dawson being considered a nickel corner, even though he could possibly develop into something more than that. But as of right now, I got no problem with him being a nickel corner because we need a nickel corner, and he could probably even be a day 1 starter at the nickel spot. With the 3rd pick of the 6th round, I have the Texans selecting Kyle Lauletta, quarterback out of Richmond. Now, the Texans obviously need a backup quarterback, and I can totally see the Texans taking a quarterback in the draft. And to me, it really comes down to 3 people, and those 3 people are the quarterbacks that Bill O'Brien coached at the Senior Bowl because he's familiar with them. And my favorite one out of the 3 is Kyle Lauletta. Why? Well, he's got mobility to him, and he can make every throw. He's from a smaller school, so, the gap's going to be kind of big. But to me, that's no issue because he's not a starter. He's going to be a backup. And the problem with this pick, though, is I don't think Kyle Lauletta is going to make it to this point. I think he's going to rise in terms of draft stock because he already had the Senior Bowl to impress. He might impress, his pro day or whatever, and he might go up, or just solely based on the fact that he's a quarterback and people overdraft quarterbacks. So, with the 37th pick of the 6th round, I had the Texans selecting Kiki Cutie, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. Shout out to Ferocious for really showing this guy to me. And if you guys don't know who Ferocious is, he's another Texans YouTuber. He recently made a mock draft video, and he had the Texans selecting him, and kind of really like this guy. And if you guys don't know Ferocious, definitely go check him out. His channel link is going to be in the description, so definitely check him out. Go show him some love. Anyways, Kiki, he's a smaller guy, a fast guy, a guy who can play outside, a guy who can play in the slot. He can return. This guy can really do it all. And I know there's going to be some people, but we don't need wide receivers. Well, I mean, Bruce Ellington's injury prone. I don't even know if we're going to bring him back, honestly. Braxton Miller, injury prone. Will Fuller, injury prone. The Texans might not need a starting receiver. That's debatable. But what's not debatable is that they need depth. The Texans need depth, and in these later round picks, that's where you pick up depth. So I really like this guy. I think he could probably even be a starter, and he could give Braxton Miller a run for his money, because Braxton Miller, let's be honest, he's shown flashes, but that's about it. And if we're being honest, Bruce Ellington, he was decent with us, but we can really do better than Bruce Ellington. And he can maybe even make Bruce Ellington better. He can elevate Bruce Ellington's game. So, I mean, why not take a wide receiver? With the 40th pick of the 6th round, I have the Texans selecting Tony Adams, guard out of NC State. Now, Tony Adams, good run blocker, good pass blocker in college football. He's just an all-around solid player. His problem, though, is he's 6'2", with not the longest arm. So a lot of scouts aren't really liking that, and they think the only way he can play in the NFL is him moving to center. But, I mean, at this point in the 6th round, you take gambles on players like that. Players that, for some reason, scouts don't like. So, I mean, if he was good in college, why not give him a shot in the 6th round? Late 6th round. Pretty much the 7th round pick at this point. Give him a shot. Who knows, maybe he can prove them wrong and be a starting guard. Or, maybe he can be a center, how they say, if Nick Martin gets hurt again, or for whatever reason. And with the final pick of our draft, I have the Houston Texans selecting Javon Roland-Jones, outside linebacker out of Arkansas State. Now, this guy, he's been improving every year. Kind of went from like 3 sacks to 7 sacks to like 13 and then 13 and a half. So he's been improving each and every year he's been in college. Good pass rusher. His problem? 6'2", 245 pounds. Not exactly, a Romeo Crennel guy, I would say, because Romeo Crennel's, you got Jadeveon Clowney, 6'6", 270 pounds. You got Whitney Merciless, 6'4", 260 pounds. So this guy doesn't really fit in with, those type of guys that Romeo Crennel has. But the Texans need more pass rushers. This guy can rush the passer. Now, this guy is, I'm not saying he's going to start, but, in certain obvious passing situations, you could just throw him in there and he can make something happen. Like, at this point in the draft, you're not going to draft a starter. You're going to draft people that can help you out, whether it's special teams or, in certain situations. And I think Roland-Jones can really help the Texans out, because the Texans really lack people that can rush the passer outside of Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless, and maybe J.J. Watt. So I think this would be like a great value pick in the 7th round. Someone that you can just throw in there, 3rd and longs, in the 4th quarter, fresh legs, and can get after the passer. So that is my second mock draft of the offseason. The next one is probably coming right before free agency, or maybe I'll wait till after free agency. So with that being said, guys, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.